All right. So there's certain levels to skydiving. There's tandem, which means that you have someone on your back. It'll be your first time jumping, and you have someone, they control everything, and there's nothing you have to worry about. They'll give you some very simple instructions. It's basically just keep your hands to your side so you're not trying to grab stuff, and put your feet under the plane and put your head back to lean out when you guys are jumping, and then lift up your legs when you're going to land. So it's very, very simple. And then there's people who get their A license, which means it's a minimum of 25 jumps. And there's a class for it. So you have someone jumping with you and teaching you certain things, and you have to take a 7-hour ground class for it. Like sit in the classroom and listen to them talking about skydiving. So that's your A license. You would have to do 25 jumps and get cleared. You have to go through emergency procedures and things of that sort. And then you have your B license, which means 50 jumps. After A license, I'm not too sure about the numbers until it gets up to D. So excuse if I'm wrong. I'm at like either 50 or 100. I think it's 50 to get your B license. Your C license is either 100 or 200. And then your D license, which allows you to take other people, tandem, like your first try, full circle around. And you have to have a minimum of 500 jumps, in order to do that. So you've been around the block skydiving. You've skydived several times. You've probably experienced some problems with it, so you know how to handle things. And it's weird because when you go skydiving for the first time, everyone's really afraid and they don't know what's going on, and they have these misconceptions about it because they don't understand what skydiving is and how it is. But most of the people that you're gonna go do tandems with, it's not their first day getting their license. Like, it's not their first day doing tandems. Most of them have been doing it for a while. There's a lot of them have up to 3,000 jumps. Like I say up to 3,000 jumps. That is completely wrong. It's not up to 3,000 jumps. I'd say about an average of 3,000 jumps, somewhere around there. There's people with 11,000 jumps, like a lot of jumping. You know what I mean? And also there's a device. You pack your own parachute, you pack your own main parachute, and you have to go through a gear check while you're doing it. So before you actually put your parachute on, you have to check everything to make sure everything is set. You have sets of threes. You have to check your 3-ring system. You have to check your straps, and you have to check all of your attachments, your pilot chute, your cutaway, your reserve. So you're going through checks, and so you're checking the parachute. Part of that checking is you have to check the code for your reserve parachute, because you don't pack your reserve parachute. The person that packs their own parachute doesn't do their own main parachute. They have a specific packer who does your reserve parachute, and it's connected to the system called an AAD. And I may be getting the exact words wrong, but it's automatic altitude device or something along those lines. I forget, and if you ask me, I'll definitely answer you very quickly. And what that does is, by some reason, if something happens and your instructor, the person actually doing the tandem with you, for some reason can't pull the chute or messes up, and if they pass out completely, which is not going to happen because they're not afraid, or even if you are afraid, you're not going to pass out, but anything like that, even if everything goes wrong at 750 feet, sometimes it's higher. I think I heard 1,000 feet, but I checked and it said 750, so it ranges. It automatically deploys. It does it by itself. If there's nothing touched on the parachute, if nobody is doing anything, the parachute deploys anyway. You may come in for a hard landing. It may hurt a little bit, but you're gonna be alive even if everything goes wrong. The only way that anything is really gonna happen, if like some astronomical thing like messes up, like you get struck by lightning, like you can die like that walking out the street. But most of the deaths and injuries that happen from skydiving come from human error, from someone taking a risk that they didn't necessarily have to take. So now that you have that information, because it's not always told in your skydiving videos and stuff like that when you're going to go check it out, go skydiving.